this certification. Structure of ADIT. Okay. Structure of ADIT. Structure of ADIT. ADIT is a qualification and certification, and for achieving this certification and qualification, you'll have to qualify, you'll have to pass 3 examinations. You'll have to pass 3 examinations, 1 plus 1 plus 1. You'll have to pass 3 examinations. Fine. These 3 examinations, these 3 subjects, they are known as modules. And that is why I told you that it's modular. So these are the 3 subjects or modules. So 3 subjects or modules. 3 subjects, they call them modules. Modules. What are these 3 subjects and modules? The first one is a compulsory module, mandatory module. First one is compulsory or mandatory. Mandatory. And this is the subject of Principles of International Tax. In short, PIT. Principles of International Tax. This is the first module which is compulsory. Principles of International Tax, PIT, compulsory module, mandatory module. Fine. Second and third module, they say, CIOT says that second and third module, they are optional. They are choice based. They are optional. Let's do with this. They are choice based or they are optional. And then they have a list of optionals available. They have a list of options from which you can choose any of the 2 optionals. Fine. Now these optionals, they are categorized into 2 types. They are jurisdiction based, that is country specific. Or they are thematic. Thematic. Country specific. Remember I told you international tax, international aspects of income tax systems or income tax laws of specific countries, right? So when you focus upon the jurisdiction or country specific modules, which countries are offered? They offer Australia, Brazil, China, Cyprus. Australia, Brazil, China, Cyprus, Hong Kong, Singapore, Ireland, India is there, Malta, then you have US, then you have UK. Fine, I might have missed 1 or 2, but then these are definitely there. So these are country specific. So if you take any of the modules, supposing you take the India based module, then you just read out this brief syllabus. This is the prospectus. I'll just read out the India based modules syllabus for you. Yes, India based syllabus. So the CIOT prospectus says this module, India module, this module covers the structure of the Indian taxation system, with particular emphasis on income tax, that is including income tax on capital gains and wealth tax, and addresses tax jurisdiction including territoriality, taxation of individuals, taxation of companies, tax planning, use of tax treaties, tax procedures, withholding taxes, and tax administration. So meaning to say the tax system of India, that would be covered in the Indian module. So if you take Indian tax module, then that would be one of the 2 optionals. Fine. Accordingly, you can take any of these options. So these are jurisdiction or country specific modules. Thematic options. What are the thematic options? The first thematic option is transfer pricing, TP. Remember, branches of international tax, transfer pricing. You have then banking, yes, very interesting and very dynamic, hugely applicable. Transfer pricing is of course the second branch of international tax. So TP, then banking. Then you have energy sources, again very interesting. Energy sources, till few years back this used to be named as oil and gas taxation. it still covers a major portion of oil and gas taxation, but then there are certain other issues keeping in mind the climate change and carbon credits, so carbon taxation. So all these areas are included in energy sources. Fine. Then you have two more: EU, European Union direct tax and indirect tax, that is VAT. Two more options: EU direct tax and EU VAT. So these are the theme based options. Fine. So out of these options you can take any two. This is compulsory. Now, although there are two options, but remember in the part 1 of the video when I was discussing the branches of international tax, I told you first is tax treaties. So tax treaties forms a part of PIT. Tax treaties forms a part of principles of international tax. What about the second branch? Transfer pricing. So although TP they say it is optional, but I don't consider TP as an option. I consider, for all practical purposes, for me transfer pricing is compulsory. That is why this for me gets automatically filled by transfer pricing. I've already told you the reason. If you ask me which is the one branch of international tax which has the maximum scope presently as well as in the times to come, then this is TP. Number 1, number of opportunities corresponding, proportional. This is the second reason why for me TP is compulsory. And number 3, I don't think so any international tax professional would be worth his salt if he would say that I am an international tax professional but I don't know ABC of transfer pricing. I mean, you might choose to work in the area of international tax treaties, but then you cannot say that you do not know ABC of transfer pricing. That would convey a very bad impression. So that is why for all practical purposes TP is the compulsory module for me. Fine. So TP becomes compulsory as well, although CIOT doesn't say so, but TP is compulsory. 2 modules filled. 1 module which is remaining, you can choose anyone. You can choose India. You can choose India. I would love to choose US because US international tax I've studied in my LLM. Complicated, but yes, it's very interesting, very broad. You can take India, US, UK, Hong Kong, or you can even take energy sources. I told you I am an engineer. I am by my first qualification, I am a mechanical engineer, and my first job was as an officer with Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. I was an officer with him, so I have 3-year experience in oil and gas industry as well. So yes, and then there are certain aspects which can be used while you are working with energy sources. So yes, this is also a very interesting option, but then it's your choice. It's your choice. So this is the structure of ADIT. Fine. So 1 compulsory, 2 optional, but it becomes compulsory. 3rd is your choice based. Frankly speaking, if I were to suggest, I would, because we're all from India, and you for obtain the qualification, I would say that yes, you can definitely go with the Indian option, or they say Singapore option, but then Singapore option is syllabus is less and so on and so forth. But then yes, the dearth of study material, that's a problem. Indian income tax, yes, the study material would be easily available, and we have encountered, especially commerce students, even the law students and eco students as well, some area you would have encountered Indian income tax at some point in your studies. So you can definitely go for Indian option. But yes, US and energy sources, I would love to take them. Okay, I'll speak a few lines afterwards as well. Okay, now if you don't want to take this 3rd option, because 2 become compulsory, this is in any ways compulsory, this becomes compulsory because I've made it compulsory. If you don't want to take this option, you don't want to write this examination, what you can do is CIOT gives you an option of writing a dissertation, a paper or a thesis, a small thesis, a master's level thesis. You can, instead of this, you can choose to write a thesis or paper, or you can call it dissertation, whatever it is. Although dissertation is used for a PhD, but then fine, dissertation. dissertation. Fine. The length of this dissertation has to be between 15k to 20k words, 15,000 20,000 words, and then in this case you'll have to get the topic approved beforehand from the CIOT. Fine. So you can write 2 examinations, you can write a paper, or you can write 3 examinations. So this is the structure. Any one of these modules, it's not necessary that first you have to take this, then this, then this. No, you can take any of these modules. I told you it's flexible. You can choose to write any of the examinations. You can choose to write this or this or this, and any combination is possible. Fine. So this is the structure of ADIT. Further information: all the examinations are held online. Further information. Okay, let me give you further information. So I'm going to rub this. Yes, they are online. Okay, just a second. All the examinations are held online. Online examinations. You can give the examinations anywhere in the world, even at your home, online, even at your home as well. The software that which you have to download, they'll give you the link, etc. That is Exam 4. That gets installed on your laptop or desktop, and then accordingly you can write the examination from even your home. Every examination is of 3 hours and 15 minutes. 3 hours and 15 minutes. And focusing upon PIT as well as TP. Remember, one of the disadvantages I mentioned of an LLM, I told you that there might be a disconnect between theory and the actual practice. There might be. I'm not saying there would be. There can. But in this case, if you see the examinations of PIT and TP, Principles of International Tax and Transfer Pricing, if you see the examination question papers, the syllabus is very rigorous. Very extremely thorough. All I mean, this is not that I'm doing publicity for CIOT, but then I've seen the syllabus of Principles of International Tax as well as Transfer Pricing is extremely thorough, extremely rigorous, as well as the question papers. They are very rigorous. They're very rigorous, and the questions are case based, meaning to say you will be given a real life problem. It's not that what is transfer pricing, what is international tax. No. You will be given a real life situation, an international scenario, that these are the transactions taking place, these are the transactions happening, these are the countries involved, these are the persons involved, this is the company involved, and then you'll have to apply the knowledge of your international tax treaties as well as the knowledge understanding of transfer pricing upon that fact pattern, and then accordingly you'll have to write the answers. You'll have to write. They are not MCQ. Yes, they are not MCQ. They are descriptive. The examinations are descriptive. You have to write a full-fledged essays. You have to be logical, coherent, organized. Yes, they are rigorous. Not that easy. Do you think that if this examination would have been so easy, people in India, coaching industries in every sector are so booming, this sector would have remained untouched by now? Had it been so easy? No, that's not easy. But then yes, can be done. Can be done very conveniently, but then yes, you'll have to work hard. So descriptive, you'll have to write essays, elongated essays. For example, in PIT, you have to attempt 4 questions. Every question is of 25 marks. 25 marks, 1 question. Choice, there is an ample amount of choice, but then yes, 25 marks, you have to write a logical, coherent, organized essay. Depending on the fact pattern, you have to analyze the fact pattern, apply the law, apply the tax treaties, and then accordingly you have to arrive at a reasoned answer. Similarly, in case of transfer pricing. Fine. So online, at your home, Exam 4 is the software. Exam 4 is the software that is used. They'll give you, you don't have to buy it. They'll give you 3 hours 50 minutes is the duration. They are descriptive. So no disconnect between the theory and the practice. Here the questions, for attempting the questions, you will have to apply the understanding onto the practical problems. So no disconnect. You will be able to qualify, you will be able to pass the examinations only if you learn to apply the theoretical concepts onto the real life practical problems. So no disconnect. Fine. So this is the information regarding ADIT, the structure, the modules. I've told you everything. Yes, one more thing. ADIT examinations are offered twice a year. They are offered in June. They are offered in June and they are offered in December. They are offered in June. They are offered in December. For example, International Tax Academy is my first batch of students. They are going to attempt their examinations next month, December 2022. International Tax Academy had its batch running for ADIT December 2022 preparation. We offered PIT as well as TP, and the examination this year are on 6th, 7th and 8th of December. 6 is the first, they are always consecutive. These 3 dates are always consecutive. Whether in June or December, they are always consecutive. The first date is always PIT. It's always PIT. Third day is always TP plus other options as well. And then 7th can be any other day. 7th can be any day. Fine. So examinations are offered twice every year, June and December. Fine. So I told you that ADIT registration, that £235 worth of registration is valid for 5 years. But then I also told you that you don't need to wait for 5 years. My strategy of International Tax Academy, what is the strategy? You take, especially for full-time students, you take 2 attempts. You take 2 attempts to achieve this ADIT qualification, 2 attempts, that is in 1 year. You prepare for 2 examinations, PIT and transfer pricing in 1 attempt. Take these 2 examinations, PIT and TP, either in June or in December, but 2 examinations can be managed easily in 1 attempt, in 1 sitting, in one attempt. Fine. So when you qualify the examinations you give the examination, these 2 examinations in June, results are declared after 10 weeks, so around after 2 months or so. So June, the examinations, this year June examinations were held in 2022, and then August 15 the results were declared. So by the time you would write examinations in June 2023 for PIT and TP, by the month of August, your results would be declared. You would have already qualified PIT and TP, and then the only module which is remaining would be the choice-based module. Fine. That will be taken care of. Fine. That you can take care of easily in the month of December. So in 1 attempt, that is in 1 year, ADIT qualification in your pocket. 1 year, not 1 year. Fine. So for students who are full-time students, for law students, final year law students, or even BCom, Econ, BBA, etc., you guys can easily crack this ADIT qualification, can complete ADIT qualification in 2 attempts. June 2 plus 1, 2 papers in 1 attempt, and the remaining paper in the 2nd attempt. Fine. Okay. So this is all about ADIT. For further information on ADIT, although I have checked whatever I have told you regarding CIOT and ADIT, but with the disclaimer, please do verify this information. Although I have verified this information, but please do verify this information from the website. The official website is www.tax.org.uk/ADIT. I'll write it again. The website is, for further information, this is the CIT official website. The website is www.tax.org.uk/ADIT. Right? So this is the website. For all the information and much more, you can have syllabus, you can have prospectus, all the information regarding ADIT, module, structure, fees, etc. Whatever I've told you, this is also available on this website. Fine. So this is all about ADIT. Very, very manageable, internationally acclaimed. And once you qualify, yes, one more thing. When you, supposing you take only one module, you qualify only TP module in the first attempt, you decide to take only TP module. So after TP module, you want to search for, you want to look for jobs in transfer pricing, and you have this certification. So you can apply to the CIOT for this standalone certificate that I've qualified this transfer pricing examination. So you can please give me this TP certificate. So they'll give you a TP certificate. A standalone certificate can be given to you for TP as well as for every single module that you qualify. Obviously they'll charge some fees for that, but then yes, modular report, that is also possible. Obviously full-fledged ADIT qualification you will be able to obtain only when you qualify all the 3 examinations. Fine. 3 examinations or 2 examinations plus 1 paper, I've told you.